And we're back. Well, so we were having a conversation with the Farleys. But let's move into, in order to get the story going a little bit. Let's move down the corridor to the professor and Anput's room, where Callahan, as you pass through the door, I'm guessing a fairly nervous bird is sort of sitting or perched on her nest.
She's just like cross-legged on the bed, and she has her entire cloak on. That you, I don't know if Callahan would have expected it or not. It's the mask she wears and the entire hood, so you can only really see her eyes and the beak. You get a good idea of why she's called the Night Bird in the Rogue Circle. When do you knock, or do you like open the door?
I do knock. And it's a knock that's going to be not terribly unfamiliar to you, as it is a knock in Thieves' Cant.
Perks up immediately. There's only one rogue in this building I know of. Opens the door.
Here I am.
When she registers it's you, she like gestures you in, and then she. How's this window? Does it have curtains?
Yes.
Closes them immediately. Oh, I've locked it. I can't unlock it.
Don't worry about
I
it.
thought that was okay. All right. She'll immediately do that. And how's the door? Does the door open into the room or out of it?
I would say in.
Inwards.
Yeah.
As quietly as she can, she's moving her chest in front of the door.
I would think that you might just take out something out of your tool kit, sort of a little chisel, which you just have to hammer in the underneath the door and just block it into place.
She doesn't want to make it. She doesn't want to like injure the framework.
Fair.
Or make it look suspicious. Fair. So she'll just make a bit of like noise,
and
then she'll like open the chest and close it again, just to try and disguise the sound. Then she'll quickly like rush in front of Callahan. She's shaking underneath the cloak, and she will begin to sign. But I got your message, but I don't quite get it, generic GM. So I'll do my best to try and interpret how I think it is.
Okay.
She
okay.
will begin. Go
ahead. I will tell you this is that, as far as you know, Callahan, which you've known a little bit, has never signed, and on occasion where you would sign, they never understood.
Right. Okay. I did not interpret like that.
As far as you know, not only do you have never... as far as you know, you've never seen them sign, and as far as you know, when you have signed in front of them, they did not answer. They did not answer nor understand. They needed somebody to translate.
Okay. And all right, because the message looked like it contradicted itself.
Yeah, sorry, but
like,
yeah, but that's.
It's like he never knew. Actually, he did. You knew he did, and it's like, huh?
Yes, yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's just my brain and how it works. All right, she will sign. When did you learn sign language?
There's a pause. Can I try an insight check to see where this is going? Or is that not even required?
She's terrified. There's no intention. When she signs, there's no weapons. When she opens and closes the chest, if you look inside, her weaponry's in there. There is no intention to strike.
Okay.
I think Callahan, you might... Okay, let's put this card on the table. You realize that you might have slipped.
Sure. I look at you, Anput, and I say, a while ago, when I was younger.
Younger? You're with the guild, are you not?
See him sort of deflate a bit in his posture. And he's clearly thinking something over. Let me tell you first that I mean neither you nor any of the others here any harm. And I want you to try as best as you can not to be afraid.
A few very, very tiny head nods.
And you see his face begin to move. First, color starts fading.
Oh, no way.
Getting paler, and then more and more and more. And you see his features sort of become more sallow, and his hair starts to recede. And where a moment ago you had this youthful half-elf, now you have this almost alien-looking being in front of you with a neutral expression. It's almost hard to determine any gender or anything recognizable as human features. The nose is flat and small. The irises are almost completely overtaking the entire pupil. But one thing you can tell is that this being is old, at least 60 years old. If you had to take a guess in human years, you see wrinkles in the skin and an expression of someone that is most definitely not the 20-something looking young man that you thought.
If I may, I do have an image. Do not take it as the direct, but this could give you an idea.
He's a changeling! Let's go! We are so in.
Definitely give you an idea of what Callahan looks like.
I see.
Hell yeah.
You know you gotta do it. If you're gonna play with Eberron, you gotta do it.
I am pogging out of my mind. That is fantastic. Anput is also is not pogging out of her mind. She's scared, very scared. She's backing up to a point where she like reaches like the back of the room where the window is, and she kind of trips on the chamber pot. She doesn't do anything. She pulls her cloak in closer and just looks at the pale expression on what she thought was once Callahan.
There's a moment where he watches you. It watches you. You have questions. Yes.
So she takes a second. It nods furiously.
Good.
She tries to raise her hands up to sign, but she can't quite do it. It looks more like she's trying to defend herself.
There's a pause and a nod, almost as if in understanding. And then suddenly, in your head, you hear, "It's all right. There's no reason to fear me. As I said, I mean neither you nor any of the others here any harm. I did not lie. I was a soldier in the war. I served as most of you did. though in a different way.
As the words echo in her brain, she initially starts looking around the room like who was saying that, and then very quickly clock on. Smart bird, by the way. She clocks on that it is indeed Callahan telepathically speaking to Anput.
I think that telepathy, especially considering that you're part of an infiltration team, telepathy would have been a type of magic that would be commonly used. So
she's in shock.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm taking into account that she is shook up.
Absolutely.
The bird will eventually find the power to sign. It's very shaky. I had no idea.
I worked very hard at neither you nor anyone else having any idea. Obviously not hard enough.
With that, let's move back to the other two, because I don't want my other two players to. Okay. We'll let
that sink in.
Let's sink in, second. Digest a bit.
Meanwhile,
at lunch, yes.
Meanwhile, the combination KFC and Taco Bell.
That's a purge right there.
I'm sorry. Anyways.
I think that there's a moment where Hawthorne, the conversation has turned between the Farleys and Junnen has turned to you've discovered that indeed they are from Charn, and you stayed there for a while, either selling goods or just in the general or whatnot. And so the Colin is sort of opened up a bit, as in it's a conversation about what he knows best, which is business and merchants and the guilds and that kind of thing. And you can see that he is very competent at what he does. However, Hawthorne, I think that you would notice that as soon as the conversation turns sort of towards business, Talia's face expression sort of deflated, as in and immediately she's not bored, but immediately there's that here he goes again, and for a brief moment, their expressions and their enthusiasm and their energy seems to be reversed.
Uh-huh.
I just turn to her.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, do I recognize that you have heard the story?
Colin is brilliant. He's an incredible mind. When he focuses on something, he's able to make miracles happen. And that was actually one of the reasons why we came here, was to get his mind out of all of that. But clearly it hasn't worked. He jumps in at any occasion, and where he goes, it's very difficult for me to follow.
I understand. What tricks or topics you try to deviate him towards?
Well, first of all, I'd like for him to relax and to read a book that's not about numbers or ways of tricking people into buying whatever he might have to sell. Here, everybody's needs are met, everyone's happy and healing, and I'm afraid my husband is just, well, that he's frustrated.
I might know a very book in that corner that might deviate his attention.
We're talking about the smut book, are we?
We've established that Tusk love exists in this world.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Oh yeah, I still need to send you the books. Anyways, no worry. We'll discuss that afterwards.
What I'd like to preface is good luck getting him to stop talking about shop, because with Colin starting to discuss his business and stuff, Junnen will gladly listen and start talking about his own as well. So while Talia and Farley are talking about how to stop their people from talking about business, we will be here enabling each other. So.
This is definitely you at a big family meeting discovering that your cousin also plays Magic the Gathering, and therefore you have your conversation set for the rest of the evening, right? And nobody understands what you're talking about.
Oh, that's all my subjects.
Sounds like a great reference point.
No, I think the lunch goes on. Talia is, I mean, she's not someone. While Colin is very much apparently somebody very sort of down to earth and very factual, Talia is. She has quite the mind on. But it's more towards philosophy, towards thoughts about religion and the nature of things in the world. Right? She's very sort of that. She has that of observant, and well, a bit of, I wouldn't say hedonism, but there's a thing where enjoy the world. Right? Enjoy the pleasures. The gods made the world in a way for their creations to enjoy them and to live through them. And her way of worshipping the gods, the pantheons, is by exploring their creation. Which Colin, and you know, there's that one point that says if I were to show Colin a beautiful flower or a gemstone, he would immediately put a price on it.
I may just curious about what Colin deals with. Sorry, and I might be able to draw his attention away from the topic he's talking about.
I mean, as you're listening, Junnen, what would be something that you would find, not necessarily in the drinks business, but I think what you're talking about here, Colin's specialty is not necessarily specific goods. It's about logistics. It's about transportation.
That is what I would be discussing with him. Because I'll probably throw in a few sort of things to sell my own things, but I know for a fact that if I try to talk to him about what makes a good meat, he's not going to get through to him, and it's not what he's interested in. No. I'm also going to talk to him about sort of issues I've had with distribution and try to get to relate on the actual process of selling things and the returns numbers and so on and so forth.
Now, I think the subject that he's going on right now is that he's sort of advocating to a return to horse-drawn carriages as opposed to the trains or the portals, as he suspects that a lot of that infrastructure being backed for the war is going to sort of slowly be less maintained or be more expensive as privatization goes in, and it's that kind of thing. And so he's talking about the idea that carriages that could maybe go all terrain, which may be able to cut through to reach further away than the lines and whatnot. I won't get into it because that's not what our listeners want to hear, and besides, not my expertise either. But yeah, he has this fascination about opening up the world to commerce by different means and hybrid transportation.
Oh, in which case I'd definitely be interested in that to sort of expand my own things, listening to his ideas.
Yeah. So Hawthorne, is there anything that you would like to sort of try and cut in?
I may just try to derail the topic
Okay.
by just questioning.
Make me. You know what? Let's do this. Make me.
Just joining the conversation.
Make me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know exactly. We're not going to go too much into it because this conversation. We need to sort of. I love this whole role playing thing, but let's get the story moving a bit.
Don't worry.
But yes, you managed to sort of bring Hawthorne sort of situates inside and with some knowledge of sort of moves in, gets into the conversation, and basically you try to sabotage the conversation.
Yep.
Okay. It is,
Like-
with the 23, it's fairly effective.
Effect on the society what he's trying to keep.
Yeah. And I actually do think that with the 23, I'll give you this. I don't know if it's what you wanted in the first place, but what you actually do is you manage to find that particular bridge between Talia's view on aesthetics and and comforts, and Colin's need for transportation and whatnot, and they both start talking to each other about the necessity of travel, but also the comfort of travel. Well, let's put it this way. This would be the start of this would be the conversation that would end up a few years later in the creation of a hotel on rails, a train tavern, if you might say, by the name of the Railway. But that's going to be another one shot that I'll be running for the game for this group. Not about this group, but for this game. Anyways.
I'll
go
make
for
sure
it.
some nice honey meat on that train.
Oh, they've got cocktails.
I know a guy who makes some great drinks.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
I know a guy who makes some great drinks.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Bit of a firehead, that one, but anyways, that's going to be for another story.
Okay, so that's a bit of an achievement, anyway.
Yeah, or maybe a slight introduction for a next adventure that I'm going to be running for the Discord. You may apply below. Right. I think.
And that goes to you viewers as well. Join this Discord now for your chance to win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the links for the Kickstarter and for the Discord will be in the comments. Not the comments, in the description. Please come and join us. Right.
Comment anyway.
Yes. Right. Anput, Callahan. How does the conversation sort of end?
Anput hasn't even begun her conversation yet.
Oh boy. Okay.
Anput is... She's calming down a little bit now that the shock of the reveal that the individual she knew as Callahan isn't quite Callahan, but she will still refer to him as them as such, whatever Callahan would like to go by. And she will find the power to muster up more sign language. I will keep this a secret.
I appreciate
won't,
that.
You won't blackmail me, will you?
Why would I do that?
I already have been, I think.
Who blackmailed
It's the
you?
reason we're here.
What
I mean, in this
reason?
room. I got asked to investigate the tower just outside, a little north. Have you seen it?
Asked by whom?
I can't say. A guild member. That's all I can reveal. By the
I
way, are
see.
you... while this is going on, are you speaking out loud or are you doing sign language?
No, this is... I've switched to fully mental communication at this point.
Oh, okay. She'll like raise her hands up a bit,
Mhm.
and then like lower them a little. You have no idea what this bird is doing. She'll continue to sign.
Okay.
You're not speaking to me through mouth, are you? I don't see your mouth moving.
No. Not right now. Though
Okay,
I could,
good.
if you prefer.
No. It's just signs no over and over again. This is highly secret. I'm going to
Are
be
you
telling the
afraid of
professor about
someone?
this. She's gonna step forward a little bit, like so she doesn't have her foot in the chamber pot, even though it is constantly cleaned due to magic.
Only when
It's just an embarrassing.
It's
It's an
just-
embarrassing look. She realized she's got a talent in the pot, and she'll stand in front of Callahan the best that she can, in all her 6 charisma. I'll be telling the professor as well, but something isn't right. Supposedly, people have gone missing here.
That you see the creature's expression darken. There's as alien as the face is, it is still human enough for you to recognize that expression. And almost as if with a ripple, Callahan's face returns. Tell me, does the name Falthrax mean anything to you?
Oof, hold on.
No.
No, I was checking to make sure that the person who gave me and the professor the massage wasn't called that name.
No.
She shakes her head instead of signing no.
I would try and insight check you to see if what exactly this little scared little bird is thinking and feeling right now, if that's okay, DM.
Okay.
I mean, I'll roll this funny dice. It's gonna be really low. That's fantastic.
I mean, that's
Oh,
What's
fantastic
your
too.
plus? You just beat that once again. The bird, it's not just an open book. You've already read the book back to front, then front to back, then handed it to Anput.
Yeah, fair enough.
Callahan
I mean-
hands her and put the book that she's going to use.
What was the intention of this?
Basically, you see that. I think you can infer enough to see that Callahan is making a decision as to whether or not to trust you, and if yes, to what extent. And his posture relaxes a little more. The professor. You trust him as well, don't you?
She nods, and she will sign. He helped me speak the language I speak now. I owe a lot to him. I do a lot for him.
I'm looking for people myself.
The professor?
Look lonely. I can fix that.
There's more people that have gone missing, I think. So, like I said, I mean you no harm, and I think our goals are aligned. Did you hear anything more about what to look for in this place?
She signs no. I was only told to investigate the tower for anything suspicious.
Well, I have an appointment at 7, but before that, or after that, as you prefer, we may investigate together. And if the professor and our dear dwarven companion are all right with it, we could all go together.
I'm not
Let's
sure
say-
how I'll convince Junnen. I can't speak any of his languages. I only have one more use of my amulet. I'm not sure if I'll need it for anything else.
Cocks his head a moment. I think you can leave that to me.
Her expression is already a little, like, it is already negative due to everything she's experienced in the past 5 minutes. She'll nod.
Mm-hmm. I scare you.
A little surprised look, and like she's already trying to look Callahan in the face. And when she continues to, she looks away. He does a small nod. You do now.
Good. It's all right. I know I can be scary, and being afraid is useful for survival. I've leaned down.
$1,000 stare.
Mm-hmm. You're not what I'm after. Don't worry. And there's a smile on the creature's face, and for just a moment, a ripple of feathers on the cheeks, until Callahan's face resolves again. Well, I'm hungry, and I leave the room and head towards lunch.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, I have no idea if that ripple of feathers was supposed to be intimidation or persuasion, but
Anput,
or a
Anput
flex.
takes all of her covers and she fucking she cries. She goes to her bed and she just she cries.
Callahan, the fucking ghost. Okay, that's gonna be
No
be
way,
trauma
bro.
to unpack.
That is insane.
I think Callahan, this is you would join the other two just as they're finishing their lunch, and most of the people here sort of finishing as well, right? But you've I'll put you in I'll put you in the lobby here. Where would you go? Is there anybody that you would like to go and talk to?
Is there anyone still lingering, either from the guests or from the staff? I know that you have all of those acolytes that are voiceless, but beyond them, is there anyone that's lingering for late lunch?
I think that you would have everybody still lingering. People are sort of finished eating, and now it's sort of just sort of maybe lounging, sort of digestion or whatnot, right? The acolytes picking up whatever cutlery or plates there might be, and people are just sort of enjoying the moment of after a good meal.
I'm going to try and talk to the copper press, I think, since I'm already at the table. I'm just gonna...
Okay.
Do you mind if I join?
Please, yes, of course. So Leolna sort of please. I think roll me just a charisma check.
Charisma, raw charisma.
Yeah.
All right then.
Let's go.
Let's
Odd
see.
for Kelna.
Huh. Ooh.
Oh yes. Okay.
That's a nat 20.
That's a nat 20. Which means that I think that as you step in, we see Leola go bright red. And Kelna's sort of looking up, looking at her sister, and basically, Leola's going, Oh yes, bright red, and I think Kelna. She jumps as you guess that Kelna probably gave her a good kick in the shin underneath the table, as you sit down.
Oh, I hope not keeping you from other activities. I was rather late for lunch.
No, of course not. We were just thinking of maybe just spending some time in the garden and just enjoy the sun. If you want, what my sister is trying to say is she would love to have you join us.
Sure, that can be arranged. I would love to hear what you can recommend about the place. You've been here for longer than I have, certainly. So
we've been here for a few days. Yes. Actually, I need to remember because I can't remember my own notes to save my life. So, how long have they been here? Keep going. Keep asking. I'll just check.
No, I've had the pleasure of the physical therapy, and I did try the pool. But whatever other offerings the place might have, well, happy to get your recommendations.
Ilmar is amazing with the massage. Aubrey, unfortunately, I think she was off this week, but we haven't seen her in a while. But she was really, really good too. Also, well, the people in the conversation are pretty interesting. There was a what was his name? Nah, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you meet all people of all sorts coming here.
No, I mean, it all matters. I think getting to know people you would never meet otherwise is one of the most amusing things you can do in places like this. It gives sort of like an overview of society, I suppose.
Well, there was this one guy, Jortix, I think. Yeah, the inventor. Yeah, he brought in, he keep bringing in these gadgets that he was trying to sell to the sisters. I think one of them actually exploded, and that's when he left.
Did he now?
Yeah, it was all about things to help. That? It was all things that. Oh, that was. I think it was last week. He didn't stay very long, from what I understand. He was supposed to stay the full week, but after that fiasco, he just left. Sort of a bit in a shame like that. No. He had this sort of little turtle. It was supposed to be something that, to pick up any debris or leaves or twigs that would have fallen into the pool. So it's this just little turtle that it sank to the bottom. He said it was a feature. I don't think it really was. Oh yeah. And there was this, he had this sort of running disc with sort of like a mop. That's the one that exploded in the kitchen.
However did it get into the kitchen?
Oh, it's supposed to be this thing that sort of runs around. It bumps against the walls. It goes into random directions. He said it was math. He was cleaning with math. But apparently it got into the kitchen, and we just heard it blow up. And there was this acrid smell coming from inside. Yeah, Green Song was really not happy.
Yeah, they do seem a bit temperamental, the sisters, don't they?
He called it a ramble.
If I've heard a story about a kitchen blowing up twice in an establishment, I'd have 2 copper coins. Not much, but it's weird I've heard it twice now.
Yeah, yay for fantasy Roombas. Extraordinary. You have any expertise in invention yourselves then, or is that more of a hobby in observation?
No. Oh, no. I mean, we're handy with a tool or so, but no.
Right.
I'll say this is that what exactly you're trying? What are you trying to get to? I would say as soon as you get interested as soon as you try to get interested in what they do and what their expertise, they are quick to change the subject and pivot.
Huh. Certainly, I do know that. Essentially, I'm schmoozing up to see what they have observed so far from experience, kind of like just the vibes of it. So someone disappeared out of embarrassment, but also a lot of these people seem to have stuff to hide. So I'm curious. It's like jazz. It's like the notes that are not being played. What's the stuff that they try to avoid?
With the natural 20,
can I do?
well, I'll honor the natural 20. I think that you get one thing that you notice is the two sisters seem to be they are very observant. As you start sort of moving towards gossip with regards to the different people, they might have a level of insight and observational skills that would be almost professional, not to your level, but certainly to operatives that you would have trained.
I see.
But you don't feel it like it's not spies, as if they're not. But they're very observant as to let's put it this way, not information, but the information that they gather seem to be great for if you were to target somebody for, appraisal of wealth, appraisal of manners, appraisal of background. They're very good at discerning. You kind of start having a feeling of what they might be doing for a living.
See. Okay.
I'm gonna
also try.
I'll say this: while they usually go around with, they're here within the natural clothing usually. The clothing is maybe a bit threadbare sometimes, right? It's maybe, I would say, last year or 2 years ago's fashion or whatnot, but it's, well-worn clothing. They do have tool belts, however, that they always keep them, that they never open them, never play with it. But those are very well maintained.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to keep up the conversation,
okay.
Kind of like, charm, and try and just ingratiate myself to their company and do a little bit of code switching, kind of like the sort of worldly person who knows a little bit more about society than they let on. Sort of like giving like the vision of someone who's well traveled and has kind of like lots of stories about the most wonderful of places. That sort of vibe. See where that gets me.
Okay. Let's take a little bit. Let's leave that scene to one side. I would ask you. So the meal is done. For now, you have the whole afternoon in front of you. I know that we have a meeting towards early evening for Callahan, or for he who calls himself Callahan. What are your plans for the afternoon? And question, is there, because we've had a lot of information that's been distributed among the 4 players, is there any plan at some point to just gather everything up and talk?
Anput was initially going to find the professor again, but now I don't know how long she's going to stay in her room.
I'm not even sorry.
No, that's fine. That's the character.
I definitely want to change my focus. That's been missing, so I'd like to check my room again. If not, if it's not there,
I would think that after the Actually, no. This would be Anput. You're still in the room, correct?
Oh, absolutely. She's covered herself in whatever quilt that she
So I think there's a
provided.
moment where there's a sort of a slow knock, a polite knock. Let's say for coincidence's sake, Hawthorne, as you're going back to the room, checking up on your friend who has not showed up for lunch, by the way. As you see, there is one of the acolytes that is standing next to your door. He has basically in his hand there is a sort of bundle of cloth. And no, I would say no. There's maybe a sort of small box about this big, right? That he's holding in one hand. He's sort of slowly knocking on the door. And I would think that as you would approach, his head turns towards you. There's sort of a look of maybe recognition of some sort, and sort of hands you the box just as Anput you open the door.
Anput has very, very slowly. She's not only in her cloak now, she's in the quilt as well. It's just her beak and like the front of her face enter the shot.
Okay. Wait, I need an acolyte. There we go.
Oh my friends, you missed lunch.
The beak nods.
May I bring you some fruit, by any chance?
Little pause. Beak nods again.
Is everything alright? Is there anything you may need?
She goes to shake her head and her beak kind of against the door.
Is there anyone hurt you?
Her beak retracts from the door. And I can't move my character anymore because I put them in the wall. Thank
There you go.
The shield. The beak slowly retreats.
Can you
The door
tell me about?
remains very slightly open.
I'll just enter with the crate in my hands.
She's covered in everything she could cover herself with. She is a little ball on the bed. You could probably guess it's the fetal position.
Hawthorne, when you do open the box, inside there will be there will be your focus. There will be the crown of feathers.
Oh.
I believe you will also find what had been taken. No, nothing else had been taken.
Nope.
Just
it.
No, I think for Callahan somebody had messed with something, but
It was a letter.
yeah, the letter. Yeah,
It'd
yeah.
been opened
Someone
and
had
resealed.
traced a name on one of the letters.
Yeah, they had sort of pushed to sort of almost sort of embossed the letters with the written where the name was. Yeah.
I will just carefully hand over the feather.
You also, Professor, you also find a note, which is signed by at the bottom. It is signed by Seth, and I can't find the necessarily wording right now in my head, but it's sort of an invitation. From the three sisters to basically for a private dinner in order to apologize, basically, at your request. Oop.
That's an excellent news. But I'll just keep my focus on Anput.
Mm-hmm.
I hand over missing item.
Okay. Oh, do you hand the crown bag?
Yep.
Immediately her eyes like sparkle, and she kind of fights to like push the quilt away and immediately her claws reach up to. She goes to snatch it, but then slows down to take it gently from your hands. Pulls back the hood, takes off her mask, and she very, very gingerly places the crown on her head. And all of that worry that you've seen Anput in right now just immediately fades away. As she basks in the item that was once lost.
Then I will just ask again if she could talk about what happened.
She'll look down for a moment, then she'll look back up at the professor. She will sign. It's complicated. Do you mind if we close the door?
Absolutely not. And I'm just shutting it quickly.
Junnen, I'm seeing you move around. Are you looking for something?
No, I just remembered that I had my battle axe technically still with me. So having finished lunch, I'm just gonna go put that back.
Okay. No worries.
Farted
On
missing
that
from
note,
your
do
back.
I hear like any of the cries from the room or not?
I think that the you know what? Make me a perception check.
Sure.
A 13. I think that if you were absent-minded, no. If you were specific to go, oh, I saw that Anput was missing. If you would go up and listen to their door, yes.
Not listen to their door, but just linger past it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you were sort of to pour your attention towards what's happening behind the door, I would say yes.
There is a bird noise. Do you investigate or do you go on your day?
Well, because despite the way that I've acted so far, part of the character description I put for myself is that he is when the time calls for it, he will go into group mom, if need be.
I would say that you know enough about Anput. Hawthorne sort of standing up looked a bit worried as well. I think it's enough for you to justify a knock on the door.
Yeah, I'm not gonna intrude or anything like that. Because if the door is closed, But I will knock. Everything all right?
Looks at the professor at the door. Anput will get up to go to the door, but if the professor wants to stop her at all.
No. I just stand away.
The door opens very slowly. It's just the beak and the eye at first, and then when she sees it's everyone's favorite dwarf, then her head will like fully emerge, and she will gesture to come in.
Okay.
Sure. If you need a moment, I'm happy to come back later.
Her head nod. Her head shakes. Sorry, nods in the horizontal direction.
Alright. Well, you'll walk in.
Okay,
I'm happy to translate, my friends, but something happened here that Anput may share with us.
I mean, she looks distressed, so.
She doesn't have the cloak on anymore. It's just like underlayer. She wears like quite a tight suit to make sure all her feathers don't like poke out. But it's sleeveless. And she goes to sign again very shakily. I've been asked to go on a very secret mission.
Asked by who?
Sure, you should be telling me that.
And I will just constantly translate to you.
Oh, when you say the words, like Anput will be like, Anput will like freak out.
Oh, you don't want him to hear what you say?
Like panic a little bit and then sign. It has to be very secret, but I don't know how to make it secret. Can you tell Junnen through other means? That is silent.
Oh,
Oh, right. Okay, I see.
Looks towards
may-
Junnen and the professor.
yeah. I may check my chest. Can I have a piece of pen and paper by any
Yes.
chance?
Yeah. I mean, come on, you're an academic.
Those.
If there's anybody who has, paper in stock, it's you.
Yeah, okay. I will just, pick them up and start writing.
Okay, Anput will basically go over the same stuff as she did with Callahan, but I want to go over it again so that both these characters know.
Mm-hmm.
She will begin to sign. As she is signing, her confidence slowly decreases as she begins to explain. I was asked to go on a secret mission by a guild member. I can't disclose who they are. The tower at the top north here. They want to see if there are any secrets being kept in the spa. Supposedly, someone or some people have gone missing over time. They didn't ask what they wanted. They just wanted to see if it's true. I've been
Fascinating.
told not to trust the sisters. And that's the part where her hands break down and she can't sign anymore.
Thank you, my friend. You're with the right people. Do you trust that person who asked you on this mission?
She does a little more signing. A little bit. But I don't know. She sits down and she tries to continue to sign. The sisters said that they could help me speak common. But if they're not good people, what would happen? I don't know.
We can discuss that later. We can start investigating.
She nods.
What do you say, Junnen?
Well, it's a bit
I just hand over the
tricky.
paper to you, and so you can also understand the full story.
I've got a gut feeling, and given how absolutely polluted with alcohol my gut is, take this however you will. But I can't help but feel like if people are going missing, the next person is likely I forget his name, with a big facial scar. The sisters
She'll sign
seem-
Henry.
Is it
I'm
Henry?
right. Or... Sorry, I don't quite follow along with the bird. Could you...
Henry Kolb.
Yeah, she signs Henry to the professor, hoping that he would then say Henry to Junnen.
I just say the name, but I don't know who that is.
Alright. Is that his name? I didn't quite catch it. They were having some discussion out back, but they're also doing some sort of special procedure on him, and if I had to sort of wager any sort of guess, if they're gonna finish treating him, it might be in that tower that you've been told about. Don't see where else in this spa, from what I've seen so far, they could perform such a surgery.
Just for all intensive purposes, just so Junnen can respond to Anput and vice versa. we could just say that the professor can translate on the spot.
Yep.
And so Anput will sign. They performed a miracle, but he's been left with vitiligo. It's nothing bad. Just his skin's a different color now.
Was it? I can't say I noticed.
So what you would have noticed is, and by conversation or whatnot, or gossip, is that by treatment of herbs and magic and healing magic, they got his skin to where it is now, which is that sort of almost translucent pink. It looks like the skin is almost transparent, as opposed to the rest of the face that is still. It's the face of a soldier, right? So it's wizened. It's got wrinkles.
It's got scars, things like that.
That kind of thing. And you have this sort of perfect, almost pig pink skin, basically baby skin on the side. But to move it forward, because that's not technically damage. To move forward, you intercepted a conversation where they might go a bit further with a special treatment that would invoke a miracle.
She will sign. It's already a miracle that wound is healed overnight. They could fix me. Her handshake when she says that.
Well, hold on a minute. You're saying that as if that implies that you're broken. I don't think that's the case at all. Sure, I might not necessarily understand you, but that's who you are. Nothing wrong with that.
Her claw, for a moment when you say you're not broken, her claws and talons, like she's sitting on the bed, they kind of ball into fists for a moment, but then she quickly lets them go.
Do I notice that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you're looking at Anput to speak to her, she gets angry.
You can hear the scratching of the claws of the talons on the bed frame. Yeah.
I'm gonna then double back up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult. I thought I was being supportive.
Almost realizing that she was angry in that moment, she signs. I'm tired of not being able to speak to anyone properly.
I'm sure you are. And having that 1 hour limit must be agony. I mean, I like to talk to people all the time, and if I couldn't do it, I imagine I'd go mad. But perhaps these weird sisters isn't the way. Perhaps if you look for people who genuinely care about you, you can work with them rather than place your trust in some rather sketchy strangers. For now, at the very least, know that you're supported with people who will try their best to give you patience and understand you, even if they need a little help.
She'll look from you, Junnen, to the floor, and look at Hawthorne. So she's been crying some bird tears. Few in there again. These ones are silent. She just nods a few times.
Chin up, we'll get this sorted. Dwarf's honor.
I missed the lunch. Do you think I'll be able to get some fruit?
Oh yeah, sure, I'll come with
you to get some. Indeed.
Okay.
Did anyone have any questions?
Not at this point. What I advise is not to make a rush decision. I don't know anything about these sisters. So, but what you can always count as on us is basically we will help you. We will help to translate and communicate as much as you need.
She'll nod as she gets up. Was there anything else in the box, or just our thing?
The invitation to the. There is a private dinner only for us, arranged by the three sisters, so we may be able to learn more.
Wait, there is?
Yeah. So in the box, you find basically sort of a letter of apology written by Seth that does include a private meeting with the sisters at your convenience, basically.
I see. Well, we gotta.
Now, it
Very
is
careful
addressed
thing.
to Professor Hawthorne and Anput. You realize that this might be an apology with regards to the missing items. Junnen, you are not necessarily included, nor is Callahan. But that you could always, you could always make sure you get in some way.
Okay.
Just explain what happened. 2 items were gone missing, but they've been returned and we were invited.
Maybe
All
during
right,
that
Anput.
time.
Let's get some food for you.
Okay. Maybe I could speak to Morgana during that time.
Well, I'm going to make a little bit of a... we're coming up on time here. And so what I'm going to do is I don't want to... on one hand, I want to sort of speed towards the evening, but I don't want to leave you to that afternoon of maybe investigation. So this is what we're going to do. There's a moment, Callahan, where you're sort of eyeing the idea of going back to the pool and being there alone. Maybe sort of mid-afternoon, you start realizing that some people are going to the spa, other massages, or in their rooms or whatnot, and you sort of pick up. There's a moment where you might think that it would be the right moment. As you slip into the main bath area, there's a moment where I'm going to just move these guys over here and move you in here. I had other plans, but it got late. You're alone. It's roughly about, let's say, sort of mid-afternoon. So the light has sort of softened. The shadows have started moving across the marble floor, and you go on and sit pretty much as you had done before, your feet in the water, and you try and call, basically. Your first couple of efforts are difficult, right? As in, there's nothing there. You try and splash a bit, you try and move, and you sort of call in. There's a moment, I think, and we discussed this during our break, right? Where you decide to take a little bit of a chance. My question is, how deep do you go for the transformation? Do you just go for, just the feet that go white? Or do we see the full transformation as we had seen for Anput?
I think I'm looking around. I'm alone at the moment, and I'm ahead of schedule slightly. But at this point, Callahan had initially planned to play this cautiously.
Mm-hmm.
Slipped up once, started noticing that nobody here is who they say they are, and everyone here is keeping secrets. Fuck it. Let's start kicking some doors down. And so basically, on the surface is going to remain with the Callahan appearance, but is going to start dipping first the foot down and is just slowly stepping into the water, and everything below the waterline is essentially going to shift
Okay.
towards my actual appearance.
Which means that we see in that sort of dip between above and below water, right? We have the camera sort of situated right at the level, and we can see both. Where we see the tanned skin of Callahan sort of move in, and it becomes this pearly white, almost featureless, as in the toes almost seem to stick together into one single entity. We see the ribs, for example, just become this sort of flat torso, and where the dragon mark is, we see the dragon, those lines. I was about to say those lines and veils, but no, lines and veins that had been sort of apparent on the surface of the skin. As the skin goes almost translucent, we can see that the dragon mark's veins go and wrap around themselves all around the heart that is almost directly underneath it. This irradiated, the radiating blackness of the mark upon you. This is enough to grab, as in you rolled a 19 back in the day. We have the shimmer on the water, right? We have the you see the movement as the face just goes up, just the eyes just above the waterline, and then the nose and mouth, and she seems to look at you this time with eyes that are not reassured, but almost, as in recognizing a member of the family in somewhere that you were not expecting it. Oh, you're one of us.
I suppose.
That is what I felt. But
I'm so sorry that I scared you earlier.
You can hide.
Yes. Yes, I can. Well. And there's a hand that goes to my chest. Mostly. That is my gift.
Did you find her? Silvari, my friend. She's been gone for so long. Have you seen her? You have to find her.
You have lost someone too. Who is Silvari?
Silvari. She's the priestess. She helped build this around my spring. She told me I would help people. But now she's gone. And those three,
Callahan.
they must have chased her. You have to find her.
There's a snap of recognition of kind of like thinking, Silvari, is that someone that I knew? Is that someone that worked for the guild? And then snaps back to
you would know. No,
founder.
Yes,
It's the founder of the and making that connection, and then it was I see.
They chased her, and so now I chase them. Them and their servants.
Their servants. How long have they been? Who are they? What are they?
They cannot step into my waters. I will not allow it. I burn them. I burn all who come into this pool. All that is evil. All that is not good. Silvari said that I should. Burn away the evil. Take away the hurt. And they are evil and they are hurt.
Step in that pool?
I don't think so.
If you're evil alignment, make 50 con saves real quick.
Yep.
Sorry, I spoke over you there.
No worries.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. They also are of us. but not of us. They do not wish to heal. They wish to take. And the
What have they
hurt that
taken?
they give, I cannot take away.
Reeling, sinking fully into the water, and trying to
Gales open up.
speak to her.
On that note, can I ask something?
Yes, please.
When I went into the bath after the workout, would I have been healed a bit?
I would say that it would be the equivalent of a short rest. So if you want to get the roll your hit die, you certainly may.
Yep, sure.
If you're evil, you hit die. Permanently.
No. We'll discuss at a later date what the actual properties of the pool are, but...
Do I want to find out? I got so many questions for my
Yeah.
Dungeon Master about Storm King's Thunder.
There's the button.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting where to roll individual.
Or
dice.
you can just roll 2d12, I think, well, what's it, 1d12 plus your con.
Yep, which brings
That's a
us
nice roll.
to-
Yeah,
There we
medium.
go. Back to
So.
full.
Callahan.
They have taken your friend. How long ago?
You would know that the naiads are not... These kind of... Dryads know time by the passing of seasons and the cycle of the sun. Naiads are something different. They are springs, which means for them, time is not a concept easy to... So for them, a day or... For them, the only passage of time is things that happen. And the last thing that happened is she lost her friend. And so you would know that asking how long ago is impossible.
Right. I look at her. I'm looking for a friend too. And I raise my hand, and the mark flares up, and I wince. It's clearly painful to me, and something manifests in my hand, and it's almost like a swarm of flies resolving itself into the appearance of a bust, and it's a dwarvish man of some middle age, close cropped hair.
Yes,
Do you know my friend?
I healed him.
You
But
did.
then when he came back, different. And that I could not heal. I tried really hard to heal it from him, and he got scared. And then the sisters sent their servants, and I burned them. But I had to flee, to hide, to go back to my spring.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
Thank you so much. Do you have a name I may call you by?
She called me Sirena.
Well met, Sirena.
Sorry,
Thank
as
you.
a French speaker, I just like to say real original.
I mean, sorry, Mark. You got your critics here.
Everyone's a critic.
Yeah.
Well, in my defense, that's basically everything Junnen's been doing all campaign.
Fair enough. As she continues, almost as there's a... Yes, I guess there's a... She turns her head just slightly towards the door, and just as you hear the door sort of oomph, that initial inertia of the wooden door sort of cracking open, you can hear the voices of the Farleys on the other side sort of chatting away their ideas about this luxury transportation device. Serena sort of looks, and immediately she has a look towards you. Find her! I know she's close. And disappears into the waters.
Well, that certainly clears things up.
And it's on those words that we're going to end for tonight.
Wow.
What? What was that?
That's the Top
Is that a
Gear theme.
ukulele?
Okay.
Yeah, I got ukulele.
Yeah. Sorry,
Shell, we have to stay. We gotta leave, love and leave you.
sorry, Callahan. I believe I actually you froze, so I thought you had finished, but then I saw that you. Sorry, did I interrupt a flourish?
No.
Okay.
I was just saying, basically, that clears things up. And yeah,
So on that note, we're gonna do what we always do here. So if you're just interested in the story, feel free to end the video here. However, you will notice that we go a little bit further because we're going to take a little bit of a break here, and we're going to sort of debrief with those who remain. I know that Bradley, you need to get going, so we will not hold you any longer. Thank you for playing tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And for those watching, for those listening, we will be moving in next week into the final part of this. Who knows? We might not get to the bottom of the mystery. We might not get to the climax, but end is near. Right. We will see you in just in a couple of seconds. Thank you again to my players. This has been really fun. You've gone in directions that I did not anticipate, because of course you did. So there we go. Thank you. We'll see you just on the other side. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oi.
Bye.
And with that...
No, next week. No, we're playing on the 25th, so that's next week. Oh, we're playing on the 30th. Okay. Yes, right. Yes, I need to change that. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. So, folks, how are we liking it so far?
We gave Anput drama. Yeah, we love drama.
Yes, I have to say, I really loved that scene. That there are two scenes that I loved.
Shit.
There are two scenes that I loved, and both of them were through Anput. One was the dialogue with Callahan, but the second one where and unfortunately, Bradley had to leave. But I'm broken. Oh no, you're not broken.
Junnen going, no, you're not broken.
Yeah, as in that's part of it. I
have more respect for yourself, you silly bird.
I can't talk with you people. It's not being, it's it's not me being broken. It's me needing to. I don't need to be fixed. I need to be enhanced, which I think is the
bird.
Yeah.
Kowalski, enhanced. Wait, Kowalski's also a bird.
Yes, Kowalski is actually also a bird.
Wait a minute, there's a connection here.
Coincidence? I think not.
I put up a whiteboard. It's Anput in the middle of Kowalski on the side. It's a big red tape that somehow does a loop-de-loop.
So yeah,
I'm glad
yes.
that
I don't
Professor
mean to
is
make...
exposed to the details slowly.
Yeah,
He somehow navigated through avoiding everything so far.
So can we have, because all four of you have heard the different clues, even if nobody's put everything together. What do you do? You have any speculation? No. Well, before we get to the speculation, are there any scenes? Are there any things that you enjoyed tonight?
For me, the
Oh, you.
standout was with Input the almost the therapy moment with where the rest of the party sort of like came together around Anput
Yeah.
in that moment was such a great moment of vulnerability and
Yeah.
of everyone's character being on full display. And I also really like I love kind of Brad's way of using Junnen as both comedic relief, but also with I like it when comedic relief characters get some hidden depths,
Yeah.
and that was on full display in that scene.
Yeah, he went
They
full
are-
Sokka.
It's fun.
They
Yeah.
are the comedy. They are
did.
the loudest person in the room, but they are also the one who brings it all together when it's needed.
Yeah. Especially because we haven't really discussed subclasses, but when you'll discover what kind of subclass Junnen has, it makes a lot of sense.
I've forgotten.
We'll see
I
if
forgot
that
what
comes
everyone's
up.
subclass is.
We'll see if that comes up. But yeah, and Anput being not the now the bearer of 2 secret missions for 2 people that she cannot name.
Wait, I had no idea where to go with Anput or what Anput was gonna say when when she was found crying on the bed, and then Hawthorne goes, "Who hurt you?" It worked out in her favor. Now she has to take that secret to the grave.
To a grave,
Well,
not necessarily
to-
yours.
Yeah.
Maybe. Wait, what does Master mean by grave? Wait, whose grave is this?
How about you, Hawthorne? What did you enjoy?
Yeah, I also love this last scene together, us in the same room. I think that was the most meaningful one. But I also would like to mention the lunch conversation, which had no meaning whatsoever, but it was just fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the I think when I mentioned that on the Discord, right? The generics card from when the GM realizes this is no longer a reminder that to the GM that this is a work. This is a
group game.
this is a group game. Yeah, I could have those kinds of conversations, the NPC conversations with my players for hours, right? But at some point, I have to realize I've only have 4 sessions, and I need to get this
we're on
story
schedule.
moving. Yeah, we're on
We have a
on
schedule
schedule.
to maintain.
I mean, Bradley would be able to tell you. I told them, oh yeah, don't worry, guys. We've only have a couple of. No, it wasn't for Bradley. It was another game where I told him, oh, don't worry. There's maybe another 2 to 3 hours of game. That 2 hours of game turned into 5. So that's just me.
Dungeon Master, this is our final session, and we're halfway through the boss's lair. Oh shit! The boss crashes through the wall on a giant mech! Roll for initiative!
Right.
I have you now!
A DM, I would like to have a camp scene. You'll have it in the credits. Come on.
No, it is something that I genuinely admire with kind of like I think this is like the expression that Brennan Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20 uses, like the need to land the plane.
Yeah.
And it's something that I genuinely struggle with because I enjoy heavy RP. Like I don't like battles. I don't like the sense that okay, we need to tick off that box, then that box to kind of like and to make it happen organically and to tell a story. That is to me kind of like the height of a good DM skill is when you manage to do all of that and tell a story at the same time, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah, there's a tendency to take your analogy. There's a tendency for the GMs to hover. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just want to get that one little moment. I just want to give this to my player as well. I just want to put the, and it's and
It's
that's
all not gonna get out there. Like,
Yeah.
there's going to be those bits that you prepared. You're like, oh, I can't wait for this to happen, and then it doesn't happen. So you just need to like pack it up, pack that thing up, put it to the side, and go. That's a shame. Moving on.
No,
I'll say
and
this though, I do
yeah.
like that you're giving the characters time to breathe. Like they feel not just like plot devices headed towards a conclusion. They feel like people at this point, which is not always the case, especially in like a shorter campaign.
No, that's on you. That's definitely on you guys. I've played one shots where the idea is we don't really care about backstory. We're just here for the mission. The others where I've had a couple where it was a hybrid where people were going, I don't care they know about my character, they just know who I am, we're friends, no need to go into my past trauma, I'm just here to do a job. So you can get that, which means that for a lot of one shots that I've played, it's a bit of crop shot. I'm going, okay, am I going to need 3 sessions or 2 or 5, right?
Yeah.
And if I would let myself go with this group, I would definitely go for 5.
But
I must say that like being alive is one part. It's a new experience for me. This is kudos to you, DM, because I'd never had such an immersive experience.
Thank you.
Simple as that. But it also creates some kind of a pressure to live up to the character, and I just needed to realize that I created something maybe not that interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, he is. Hawthorne is.
He can be, but I
and-
need to enable that.
Well, I think you're doing I think you're doing a good job out of it. The idea that and there was a moment where I was a bit wondering, said, is he only going to be Anput's translator? Is he going to be Anput's familiar, right? For that. But no, I think you're coming into your own, definitely, with the idea of how you engaged what's her name?
I also forgot.
Oh no, I gotta open my notes again.
Don't worry about it.
Was it the Halfling sisters?
No. How you engage? How the wife? Celia?
Colin and Talia.
Talia.
Yeah.
Talia.
Yeah. We'll have a conversation maybe later at the end as to all the NPCs that are possible and what went through my mind with creating them. But I think those two you've gotten down. And it's funny because those characters are very archetypical when they're written, or at least when I thought them up. But it's interacting with you guys where I can create them, right? It's because Junnen came up and said, and he's a merchant, and that I turned him, the husband, into a merchant to have that sort of connection and that kind of thing. For all intents and purposes, they're a couple that are having issues, and there's nothing in the book that says that they're merchants or they come from Charn or whatnot. It's just, yeah. And then at some point I'm going, wait, she's into comforts, and a bit of, that philosophy was improvised, which would, oh right, wait, I have a book up here called Twisted Taverns, and the next one shot that I want to run is out of there, and it's the Railway, which is a Murder on the Orient Express type of scenario. So that is going to be the next one that I want to run for Game Master Worlds, and I can link it here to the Folies.
Neat.
Nice.
Yeah.
A good whodunit as a TTRPG session is tricky, but it's so fun.
Well, I would recommend, if you want to see a good way of doing it as a GM, which is how I cheated, I would recommend you go and watch the Poltergeist crew on this channel.
Okay.
Where it is not D&D, it is Fate Accelerated, and it is a murder mystery. And as the GM, I only know what happened by session 4.
Oh.
Because I basically stole it off my player's murder board. So
Very good.
I let them take the notes, I let them put up the murder board and all of their questions and their theories, and I'm wait, I like this one. Just pull it up.
Nice.
Oh, I see. You didn't actually have anything.
Oh, I did.
Installed.
I had ideas. I had hundreds of ideas.
But another one popped up, and you were like, "Oh, wait a second."
But the biggest when you're doing a
Yup.
whodunit, and that's a conversation for another time. But when you're doing a whodunit, the best way is to follow your players, because they're the ones. The last thing that you want to do is be a Conan Doyle or a Edgar Allan Poe and have just the detective come into a room where and just explain everything in 2 pages, where you had as a reader you had no prior clue, right? You want the clues to be interspaced, you want the clues to come up, and so if the players come up with their own clues and conclusions, well then you're just following the road that they're mapping out.
It's like getting what you just described. There sounds like the dramatic irony. It's like you know ahead of time what the detective is going to find, so the surprise is kind of just like muted as a result. But if you're following the detective, and like they go to like investigate like an ornament that seemingly has been like dusted off, but like the rest of the bookcase hasn't, and go to pick it up, then it moves, and you're like, oh wait a second.
Absolutely.
If that ornament had been described ahead of time on like 3 pages ago, you would have gone, oh, there's something wrong with that. Of course, it's gonna move something.
Yeah, Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. Chekhov's gun is fantastic.
On that note, we're coming up on the 3-hour mark here. So I would like to thank all 4 of my players, even if one, and best of luck to the one missing here.
Shout out to Brasdelait.
Yeah. So we will see you, at least for those listening, we will see you next week for the conclusion. And look, we forgot to say it at the top of the episode. If you do not know who these people are, go watch the first episode again. The introductions are there.
Watch it backwards, actually.
Yes, watch it backwards.
Episode 3, then 4, then 1, then 2.
No.
Open the book to random pages.
Yeah. Right. So, thank you to my players. Thank you to the audience. I have been your generic GM for this session, and we will see you next time.
Thank you to our GM.
I'll see you for a less than generic time next time.
I have theories.
Yes, you do, and we'll discuss them at another time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.